Hey guys, how you doing today? It's Barb with BozeOnEdge. I'm actually going to do a couple short stories in one video. As you know, this channel focuses on child crime, and today I'm going to go over the story of Tanya Koch, who was born October 14th, 1981. And in 1996, 14-year-old Tanya ran away with 38-year-old Tom Hose, who had groomed her into believing she was in love with him, and then he held her captive for 10 years, subjecting her to constant emotional and sexual abuse. Disgusting. People who prey on children, teenagers, however you want to classify the age groups. If you're under 18, you're a child, and a grown person has no right doing anything sexual to a child. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get into this first story. On February 10th, 1996, 14-year-old Tanya Koch ran away with 38-year-old security guard at her middle school to escape her turbulent home life. What had started as a desperate attempt to find peace and companionship turned into a nightmare for the teen girl. Tom imprisoned Tanya in a second-story room of his Pennsylvania home, where he sexually abused her and threatened to kill her if she tried to escape. Her captivity would last 10 years. It was only when Tanya made the brave decision to reveal her identity to a local deli worker that she was finally able to escape Tom's clutches. Now, bear with me one second. Okay. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just disgusted over the story. That's let me leave it at that. Okay. The early life of Tanya Koch had a troubled adolescence. Her parents divorced when she was young, and her mother was mostly absent from her life, leaving Koch to move in with her father and his girlfriend in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Tanya did not get along well with her father's girlfriend. Feeling neglected and unwanted, she began acting out, drinking, smoking cigarettes, marijuana, and frequently running away from home. Her life at school wasn't much better. As an 8th grader at Cornell Intermediate School, Tanya was a victim of bullying and regularly skipped class to avoid her tormentors. It was on one such occasion in 1995 that she encountered Tom Hose, a 38-year-old school security guard. Instead of turning her in for playing hooky, however, he earned the young girl's trust. She said he listened to my problems and later said he made me laugh. The two struck up an unusual friendship, with Tom showering the 14-year-old with gifts, jewelry, candy, money for cigarettes, and convincing her that he was the only person in her life who cared about her. Their relationship took an even darker turn one day when the two shared a kiss in a school stairwell. Tanya stated, "I thought I was in love with him." And eventually Tom suggested that she run away with him, and believing he was rescuing her from a troubled home life, the lonely teen agreed. Tanya's life in confinement For 4 years, Tom confined Tanya in his second-floor bedroom. He brought her leftovers from his meals and taught her which floorboards to avoid stepping on so his parents wouldn't know she was there. So he was 38 years old, living at home with his parents, and kidnaps this girl and hides her in his bedroom rather, for 10 years. And I'm baffled that his parents never knew someone else was in that house. I just find that very hard to believe. Meanwhile, Tom sexually abused the young girl on a daily basis. He even reportedly made her take note of their sessions in a calendar book so he could brag to coworkers and friends of him engaging in sex and how often. Throughout Tanya's captivity, Tom manipulated her into feeling like she had no option but to stay. He told her that no one wanted her, that she was stupid, that he was the only one who cared about her, and that he'd kill Tanya and her family if she ever tried to escape. Tanya said, "I soon became terrified of him. I cried a lot. I did whatever Tom told me to do. He was the only person I saw for 4 years." Meanwhile, police officers listed Tanya Koch as a missing person. Her father had no idea that his child was in prison just 2 miles away. By the time Tanya turned 18, Tom Hose was convinced she had been brainwashed to the point where she wouldn't run away. He started introducing her to his family and friends as his live-in girlfriend, Nikki Allen. He also allowed her to leave the home on occasion to go to church or a local deli, but imposed a strict curfew. Tanya quickly made friends with the deli's owners, and it was through her interactions with the kind couple that she realized she had to escape. On March 21st, 2006, in a moment of bravery, Tanya Koch revealed her true identity to the deli's owner, Joe Sparico. "If you go to a website for missing children, you'll see a picture of me," she told them. The couple contacted their son, a retired police officer who was familiar with Tanya's case. Soon, police officers were swarming the Hose home. Tom Hose was arrested, and Tanya Koch was finally free at the age of 24. I'll never forget how it felt to step out of that house that day. I got into the cop car, took a deep breath, and thought, "It's over. I'm free." The aftermath of Tanya Koch's kidnapping. In 2007, Tom Hose pleaded guilty to statutory sexual assault, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, indecent assault, endangering the welfare of children, corruption of a minor, interference with custody of children, and aggravated indecent assault, and also had to register as a sex offender. During his hearing, Tom was adamant that he'd helped Tanya Koch. According to the news, he claimed that Tanya often told him, "Thank you. Without you, I'd be dead or in the streets." Despite this, Tom did apologize for how he treated Tanya. "Only God knows how sorry I truly am." Tom was sentenced to 15 years in prison, and he was released in 2022 and subsequently registered as a sex offender. For Tanya, Tom's captivity had meant her freedom. She received her GED and a driver's license and started taking college classes. Although happy to be reunited with her family, Tanya has since revealed that her father believes she was partly responsible for her own kidnapping. To this day, the two do not maintain contact. Despite the bittersweet family reunion, Tanya has been successful in her adult life. In September 2018, Tanya got married and became a stepmother as well as a grandmother to her stepson's young children. Today, she advocates for missing and exploited children across the country, and she wants others who have experienced trauma to know there is always hope. I'm proof of that. I went through the darkest times, and look at me now. Since her escape, Tanya attempted to sue numerous government organizations for failing her, including the police and the school board. All were dismissed, and she has also written a New York Times best-selling book titled Mirror of a Milk Carton Kid, the Tanya Koch story. I actually have not seen that book yet or read that book yet. I do believe I want to get that. I'm curious if any of you guys have read that book. If you have, put your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the book. I'm sure it's worth reading. But yeah, I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on it, if you've seen it or not, if you've read it, if you plan on reading it, if you haven't yet. But I'm going to move on to my second story, which is very short. And again, it has to do with a man for grooming and having sex with a teenage girl. So the suspect met the victim around February of 2023 on a Snapchat and developed a sexual relationship with her. The man was arrested on charges of child sexual assault and harboring a runaway. The victim was considered a missing person by San Antonio authorities, and on September 27, 2023, deputies were dispatched to a local home after her grandfather reported the teen had returned along with her boyfriend, Brett Reagan Poisky. The girl's grandfather said Brett was there to turn himself in. An arrest affidavit stated that Brett Poisky told deputies that he took her with him, referring the girl having to run away with him. The 20-year-old suspect also admitted to being in a sexual relationship with the minor for months. Poisky met the victim around February of 2023 on Snapchat and developed a relationship with her. The victim had initially run away from home due to having problems with her sister and stayed at a hotel room with Poisky. He is a homeless man who is known to jump around apartments and hotels. Investigators discovered he and the victim knew they were being searched for and attempted to evade police by changing hotels multiple times before she eventually went home. Poisky was arrested without incident, and according to the affidavit, he claims he didn't know the victim was underage, even saying the victim lied to him about her age. But the detective said Poisky intentionally had sex with the victim and convinced the victim that he cared for her in an apparent case of grooming, convincing her to sneak out of her house, convincing her to meet with him, and then taking her somewhere they engage in sexual activities. Investigators say 80 to 90% of sexual abuse cases involving children originate on social media. See, guys, we need to be more diligent in watching our children on social media. I know it's hard. Social media is everywhere. The kids are on it. If you take their phone, if you take their computer, they're going to borrow their friends' phones in school or hanging out or whatever. I understand it's almost impossible unless you grow up in a cardboard box with nothing around you. I know it's impossible to keep children off of things. I'm a parent. I remember having to watch what my children were doing, and things weren't nearly as popular or what's the word I'm looking for? Everywhere. It's just everywhere. It wasn't so much like that when my oldest daughter was little. Facebook was the biggest thing back then. And now you have Instagram and Snapchat, and I don't even know everything out there anymore. But it's hard. We need to pay attention to what our kids are doing. But I'm going to go on, and I am going to do another small story about a Bossier, Louisiana man who was convicted of child rape and indecent behavior. So, a Bossier, Parish, Louisiana man accused of the rape of one child and indecent behavior with another child over the course of several years was convicted on Thursday, July 10th, 2024, in Bossier District Court. The jury found Christian Jose Vargas Bourbon, 52 years old, guilty of first-degree rape and indecent behavior with a juvenile under 13 years old. Now, first-degree rape is a type of non-consensual sexual penetration that is usually committed by force or threat of harm. Indecent behavior with a juvenile in Louisiana is indecent behavior with a juvenile is defined as any act that intends to arouse or satisfy sexual desires in the presence of or on the person of the victim under 17 years old, when the age gap between the offender and victim is more than 2 years. An expert in the field of forensic interviewing and disclosure of sexual abuse was among the witnesses in the trial that started on Monday, July 8th, 2024. Text messages between Bourbon and the victim also were among the evidence presented. The first victim reported to high school counselor that Bourbon had been touching him inappropriately. The Bossier City Police Department was contacted to begin an investigation. The victim was taken for an interview, and during the course of the investigation, Bossier City detectives discovered a second victim had also been sexually abused by Bourbon. Both juvenile victims took the stand and through tears told jurors about the abuse at the hands of Bourbon. Everyone involved in the case should be commended for their work. Members of the Bossier Parish School Board responded quickly and decisively to protect these victims. The Bossier City Police Department did an outstanding job delivering a strong case, and we are blessed to have resources like these here in our community to help make this experience as easy as possible for these children. We are glad the jury gave these children a degree of justice, and our thoughts and prayers go out to these children as they continue to recover from the atrocities they suffered. Bourbon faces a mandatory life sentence, and he was scheduled to be sentenced on November 12, 2024. Okay, I'm going to do just one more story. This one's slightly different, disgusting nonetheless. A Georgia mom was charged with incest. A couple in Georgia have been taken into custody following an investigation into child sexual abuse after attempting to use an online platform to solicit pedophiles to have relations with a child as young as 2 years old. Grovetown Police Department reports that 26-year-old Ashley Crawley and 29-year-old James Tripp were arrested on Wednesday, June 26, 2024. The investigation was initiated after the Grovetown Police Department received a cyber tip from the online chat platform Meet Me. Investigators revealed that the tip provided information that a person in Grovetown was attempting to solicit males in the area to engage in sexual activity with a child. Authorities stated that the investigation uncovered that Ashley Crawley had allegedly been creating sexual explicit content and selling it online via various apps, with some of this content being created with children deliberately present in videos for additional money. The youngest of these children is reported to be 2 years old. Further investigation revealed that James Tripp was allegedly making plans and seeking permission from Ashley to engage in intercourse with one of the children. According to the Grovetown PD, Ashley Crawley, has been charged with 2 counts of child molestation, 1 count of computer or electronic pornography, and child exploitation. Prevention Act Prevention Act of 2007. Now, the Protection Act of 2007 permits the Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General to direct third parties to provide the information, facilities, and assistance necessary to conduct surveillance of foreign intelligence targets located overseas. James Tripp has been charged with 1 count of criminal attempted incest, 1 count of criminal attempt child molestation. Authorities have confirmed that Ashley Crawley is currently held in the Columbia County Detention Center on a $60,300 bond, while James Tripp was also behind bars on a $50,200 bond. The children have been taken from the home and are now under the care of the Division of Family and Children's Services. The investigation continues and further charges are anticipated. Guys, these things, I don't care how young the children are, it's going to follow them their entire life. It is going to be very hard for them to move forward, I guess is the words I'm looking for. Even with a lot of psychological help, it's going to take a lot of time for them. My prayers go out to them. I'd like to hear what your thoughts and comments are on any one or all of the stories down below. If you'd like to send any information to me on things that may have happened to you, you may go ahead and do so. If you'd like me to do a video with that information. It's a very tough subject for me, but that's why I want to get this out there. I've lived through some of these things. I know how difficult some things are, but these things need to stop. We need to put stuff out there. We need to do whatever we can. And if this is our voice to open people's eyes, then this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do. So anyway, again, leave your thoughts, comments down below. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button and that notification bell so you know that next time I upload a video. And until next time, guys, peace.